Hi, I'm Josephine Paserno with the Cox Group at Keller Williams, sitting here with Jamie Cox. And I just wanted to go over some things regarding short sales. It's a widely known fact that a good majority of the short sales that are currently listed in the Las Vegas Valley don't necessarily close. So
Right.
what is it that you think causes that? Why is that?
I think there's two reasons. The first reason is I think there's a lot of new agents coming in wanting to take short sale listings, and they're not really pre-qualifying their clients up front. And the second is because they're just starting to get into short sales, that they don't have systems in place in advance to make sure that they always keep the ball rolling towards a successful closing.
Okay, now when you say you pre-qualify your clients, what does that mean?
It's pretty easy. Well, we like to meet with our clients up front
Okay.
and discuss all of their options, regardless of what it may be, just to make sure that short sale is in their best interest. And the reality is short sale is a means of last resort.
Okay, so now what types of clients would benefit from doing a short sale?
Well, we help really three different types of clients. The first is the family or homeowner that's facing foreclosure
Okay.
and simply doesn't have another option. The second is homeowners that either want or need to sell because they need to downsize. They had an addition to the family. Any major life-changing event really would qualify for a short sale.
Okay.
And then the third is homeowners that we say they're making a business decision. It simply doesn't make sense for them to continue making their mortgage payments because they're so far upside down.
Yeah, I know that for a lot of people, including myself, it's really frustrating to see, you spend all this money purchasing a house back when all the prices were a little bit more inflated than they are now, and you have your neighbor move into the same exact floor plan and they're paying half the price as you are. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely frustrating. So now, as far as your systems go, I mean, once you have determined that your clients, are really good candidates for doing the short sale, what type of systems do you have in place?
Well, that's really the first part of the system is pre-qualifying. Once we know that short sale is in their best interest, we'll put the home on the market
Okay.
and attract buyers. We can't really do anything until we have buyers.
Okay.
We have a team. We have 5 buyers agents that are actively working with buyers. We have a huge online presence where we get 100 to 150 buyer calls a week.
Okay.
In the case today, we actually sold the listing before we even put it on the market. We had a buyer looking
Wow.
in the neighborhood. We took the listing and had the offer written up the same day.
So once you have the offer and you can start negotiating on the file.
Absolutely. What we do is we take all of the financial documents that we gathered before we put the home on the market.
Okay.
We package it with the offer that we got, and we image it to match the bank's submission requirements, and we save it into our paperless system.
Okay, now what banks does that work for?
Well, every bank has their own submission requirements. Bank of America, for example, they have their own online system that we use to upload the documents to.
Okay.
Some banks, like Wells Fargo, they've started using the system, but then others, you can fax it in.
Okay.
Every bank is different, which is why they want it packaged in a different way.
Okay, great. So now, what's the next step as far as, once you get your offer accepted? I heard that once you do have an offer, you can actually stop the foreclosure process. Is that true?
In some cases, we've been successful with postponing or getting sale dates canceled as long as we have a valid offer in place.
Okay.
And the reality is that short sale is in the bank's best interest in most cases because it's going to save them money over actually foreclosing.
Okay.
So if they're looking at the numbers and they see that they're going to save money, it's usually pretty simple to get them to actually cancel or postpone that date.
Okay, so now once you actually do have the accepted offer, what happens after that?
Once we have the accepted offer and it's scanned into our paperless system, I will assign it to the negotiator on our team, and he'll begin the submission process. He'll call up the bank and make sure that they've received all of the documents that we sent over, and he'll verify this over the next few days.
Okay.
Once we know that they actually have everything that they need, we want to make sure that they're submitting it for approval. So in the very beginning of the process, we're calling them quite a bit.
Okay.
Once we know that it's been submitted to the investor on the back end for approval, it'll slow down for a little bit. Our phone calls to the bank will slow down. And then towards the end, they'll pick back up again where we're calling them 2, 3, 4 times a day to make sure that, again, we keep that ball moving towards foreclosure.
So you having a negotiator
moving towards the closing.
So you having a negotiator on your team seems like something that's really vital to the success of your short sales.
Yeah, absolutely. There's there's a lot of title companies out there that are offering free short sale negotiation, or third-party people out there. We have on our team a full-time short sale negotiator that works 40, 50 hours a week. Him and I work really closely together, where he handles a lot of the submission and the admin part of it. And then when it gets to a point where we're actually in the hardcore negotiation with the bank, I'll usually step in and work directly with the bank in those cases.
So that's a great benefit for your clients, and from what I understand, you actually negotiate short sales for other agents as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of agents trust us because we have this system in place. They don't have to worry about sending off their files to a title company and waiting in line. They know that we do a high volume of short sales. They know that our negotiators here, again, 40 or 50 hours a week, and they know how they can reach us to get their updates.
Now, as far as getting the updates, do you have a system for that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Each of our homeowners, they'll get a unique username and login to our paperless system. So whenever they'd like, they could log in and see the most recent activity on their short sale. They can see when the last phone call was. They can see what happened on that phone call and see what the negotiator says that our next step is going to be.
24 hours a day.
Anytime they want to log in.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now, as far as that whole process with the negotiator calling all the time and keeping the seller constantly up to date, once that file does get approved, what happens after that?
Well, that's the great part, is once we get the approval letter, we're almost done. And we've partnered with a local attorney that has agreed to sit down with all of our sellers and review that approval letter for them so that there are no surprises.
Okay.
We read a lot of stories about deficiency judgments and banks coming back. So before we allow our homeowners to close on their transaction, we want to make sure that their interests are protected, and that's why we've partnered with this attorney.
And now, how does that work? How does the attorney get paid?
Well, just like our commissions, that we negotiate to have the bank pay our commissions.
Okay.
So we figured, why not ask them to pay for the attorney fees as well, and they usually agree.
So the seller does not have to pay for the attorney's fee?
Nope, we have the banks cover the attorney's fees.
Okay, now if the bank for some reason counters and they don't want to pay the attorney fee, what happens then?
Nothing. We do a large volume of short sale business, so he's going to get paid sometimes and other times he's not, and that's the arrangement that we've worked out. He just knows that in the long run it's going to make sense for him business-wise.
So with all of your systems, this is all already predetermined and worked out ahead of time?
That's the key to having a system. Before we even take your short sale, we should really know what the result is going to be, and if we don't think that we can get it approved, it's not in your best interest for us to even put your house on the market.
Seems pretty efficient.
Absolutely.
So if anybody out there has any other questions as far as, if a short sale is the right thing for them, you can definitely go ahead and contact us on our website and email us, or give us a phone call, and we'd be more than happy to discuss your options with you and see if a short sale is the right thing.